That's kind of what you would expect from a car from Japan. They are very much ahead of the curve. I think in black it really does accentuate the colour of the white. Hello and welcome to today's edition of HM Car Reviews. Today we got two cars. One, the Qashqai that we've already filmed and done a review on. There's some slight changes to this car that we're going to go over. And the second one, the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, that's brand new to the channel and that we're going to review today. Now that we've looked at the Qashqai, let's take a look at the Eclipse Cross. They are roughly quite similar cars, and the reason why I say that is Nissan owns about 30% or so of Mitsubishi, so they can share a lot of the same technologies that goes into building both. But what I really want to do is take a look at the lights. Now the lights have these running LEDs that run across on both sides. I think they look really good. They're great for projecting light as far down the road as possible, which is great at night. It's what you really want, and it makes the car easier for other road users to see you, which is always fantastic. Sticking with the exterior of the vehicle, let's take a little look about the styling. Now, I think it looks very, very modern and very, very futuristic. That's kind of what you would expect from a car from Japan. They are very much ahead of the curve in terms of technology than everyone else. One thing that I do find a little bit weird is the back portion of the vehicle. And I'll tell you what I mean by the back portion. It's this split window bit. This bit is a window, it's just very, very darkly tinted, much darker than it is up top. Typically you see this on hybrid cars. You see that on the Hyundai Ioniq and you see that on the Toyota Prius. A little bit strange, and the reason why I think it is strange, because this is not hybrid. They may make a hybrid in the future, and given how Mitsubishi are very into their electric vehicles, they probably will make a hybrid. That's where this bit really does come from. We can see the 18-inch wheels that we've got on this Mitsubishi. I think in black it really does accentuate the colour of the white. My only real concern with black wheels is just it's very easy to scuff all alloy wheels, and they show up really easy on black wheels in particular. But try not to scuff the wheels on your own car when you do buy one. As we can see, we've got super all-wheel control. Now, Mitsubishi have been doing all-wheel drive vehicles for a long, long time. They were big in rallying in the 90s and the early 2000s with their Lancer Evolution. The four-wheel drive system that's fitted in that is sort of like an evolution of the one that they had. The only real main difference is that it primarily is front-wheel drive, but when it needs the extra traction, it sends power to the rear-wheel drive. That's why it's super all-wheel control. Now we're actually at the back, we might as well take a look in the boot as well. So we'll pop that open. The boot is not huge. You can fit quite a decent amount of stuff, a few luggage and whatnot, suitcases and that sort of stuff, but you do have a little bit extra space, just like you do in the Qashqai. It gives you a little bit extra move. Slightly different to the way they've done it in the Qashqai. We do have the inflation kit and tyre repair kit in there, and also to the side here you do have a subwoofer that's fitted in there as well. We can shut this now. What happens if you find yourself being a backseat passenger in the Eclipse? There is a lot of space actually. I've got the front seat all the way back as far possible as it can go, and I've got, you know, a few extra inches leg room for myself, and the seats they're okay. I mean, they're a little bit too upright for my own opinion. That's what I really think. But one thing I think is really quite cool is you do have an electric sunroof for the rear passengers. There's actually two sunroofs in the car, one for the front, one for the rear, and they're operated differently, which I think is really kind of cool. So let's take a look at the engine that we've got. So we'll open up that there and we'll find ourselves away at the very, very front. Now, let's just unclip that underneath here. Get that up and we'll get that all in place. The engine is not massive. It's only a 1.5 turbo. There's two engines you can choose from. You can choose a 1.5 turbo petrol, which this is, and a 2.2 turbo diesel. Those are the two options available. The power output is you get more horsepower in the petrol one, you get less torque in it. So you get 250 Newton meters of torque in the petrol and 300 in the diesel. Power wise, 160 horsepower in the petrol and about 145 in the diesel as well. We can shut this up now. I did say that the car is turbocharged, and another clear way that you can tell that a car is turbocharged is the fact that it's got these big intercoolers down the front, and they're pretty visible. Also, as it's an SUV and it does have four-wheel drive, unlike the Qashqai, we do have these tow hooks around the bottom. You've got one on both sides of the vehicle. It's just in case you were stuck off-road, you know, you can pull yourself out that way. That's what that is for. Something that is quite common on Asian-made cars, particularly cars from Japan, is the placement of the fuel filler cap. So you've got this little lever down here, which you pull open like that, and we'll go over and have a look. With the fuel filler cap now open, all you do is twist it. So the fuel filler cap's like there, you put your fuel in and twist it back to close that all off. Now we're in the cockpit and the front driver's seat of the Eclipse Cross, we'll take a look at the interior. I think it's very, very modern. I think it looks really, really good. You got this little trackpad here which helps you move this infotainment system. One thing on the infotainment system that is really, really weird is this location button. It tells you your GPS coordinates. Now it's probably really good if you're off-road, but if you're like everybody else and going to use it on-road, I would much prefer a navigation system. You can get one fitted, but this particular car doesn't have it fitted. You do have the heated seats. Those buttons are down here, and the button here, that activates the all-wheel drive system. I've currently got it placed in auto, but you can have it for gravel and you can have it for snow as well. Automatic is probably the best one to leave it in. That way, you know, the car can decide what it wants to do when it needs to. Also, when you're in the front of the seats themselves are far more comfy than the ones in the rear. Clearly we got an automatic, but one thing I do find kind of strange in an SUV is having these flappy paddle gear shifters. You know, you're up and you're down. Alfa Romeo have the same system in their Stelvio, but they're even bigger in the Stelvio. But at least in these you can actually access the wipers and whatnot. You have extra space down here as well. You can store a few little bits down there. And you also got this two-tiered space down in the glove box. Bit down the bottom, bit at the top. Plenty of extra storage space in here. And like I also said when I was in the back, you've got the sunroof. If you want any extra light. So let's take this car for a little test drive and see what it's like. So we can start the engine on now. With the engine started, let's start going. Now, it is an automatic, so you don't have to worry about changing gear, which is always quite handy and quite beneficial. You can shift it into manual mode, use those flappy paddles to change gear if you really want. I probably wouldn't bother with that, to be perfectly honest with you. We are currently filming in Northampton by Sixfields, by the rugby stadium, so if anyone's a rugby fan, click like for that, and we'll keep on driving. It is an SUV, you can go off-road in it, and it will work off-road, unlike most SUVs which don't really work off-road at all. It's not amazingly quick, but you don't expect it to be quick either. The petrol engine version is actually faster in my own opinion than the diesel one. I think the weight difference between the two engines plays a little factor of that quite significantly. It does handle like a modern day car, which is great. That's kind of what you want it for. It's economical as well, actually. It's more economical than the Duke that I reviewed the other day. We get in about 48 in this one, and largely been going around town, but the highways are definitely an improvement on that. I think having that larger engine actually does benefit you when it comes to the economy figures. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross feels like a really well built, solid car. I do think that it's slightly disappointing that you can only get one engine option in the UK. Having a couple of more options available would be great for the Mitsubishi brand and for the car itself. I do like its futuristic styling, even if I do believe that the rear needs a little bit tidying up. It's a tad fussy for my tastes. Overall, I do believe that the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross is one of the leading cars in its segment. I hope you've enjoyed that review of the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe for more future content. Helps me out a lot. I really enjoy it, and until next time, see ya.